So Nellie McKay is playing live with us today. Again, this record is called Hey Guys, Watch This. And hey, another song if you want to do one.
Oh, yes, please. Drifting, my man and me, we're drifting. And if the breeze is lifting, we're drifting on by. Rolling, somewhere old Molly's lowing. And if the breeze gets blowing, we're rolling on by. I wanted to be happy, but I couldn't be. The future's playing for me. We wander aimlessly, wait and see, so ambling. Somewhere the sky's meandering, and while the river's rambling, we're rambling on by. Cruising, tapping the waves, we're cruising. And if a pale moon's brewing, we're cruising on by. I wanted to be happy, but I couldn't be. The future's playing for me. We wander aimlessly, wait and see, so drifting. Me and the sea, we're drifting. And if a fever's lifting, we're drifting through time. For we've got nothing but time, drifting by. Ooh, doo, doo, ooh, ooh.
All right, it's WNCW. Nellie McKay is playing live today. Driftin', which is another song on the new record.
Thank you. And I forgot to mention, I came down here with Madeline Peru. I opened for her in Asheville, and what a treat that was.
Yeah.
You know,
When was that?
Gee, a while ago. But I remember getting here. I thought, oh, there's a town you can walk around, and I got this little Mexican shift dress, and I was so chuffed. And then just being with Maddie, she's just a delight. She's such a giving, feeling person.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool. So Driftin', sort of like dreamlike imagery of an escape or something like that. A lot of that on the record, it seems like.
Oh, escape. Oh, yes, getting out of time.
Getting out of time.
Yes, yeah. We're too ruled by the clock.
Okay, that's another question I had written down here, is because a lot of your music, you seem to look into the past
Yeah.
and pull things out 60s or Doris Day. You know?
Yeah.
But this music to me feels like it has kind of an old soul, maybe some of the songs on the new record.
Oh, I hope so. Well, there's a great book by Greil Marcus called The Old Weird America, and it's about, Bob Dylan and the band, and it's just, you just dig deep, and everything's already been there. You just find it again.
And this ghost, you talked about ghosts.
Oh, they're always with us. Yeah. And it's good. It's good in a way. I mean, to know that things don't end particularly. Maybe that's not so good sometimes. Depends.
Is it hard for you to write songs? Is it hard for you to?
Oh, I think so, but I don't know. Maybe it'll. I want to just spend time down here and write some. But right now, I've got to pretend to be, bionic with the record.
So you're getting ready to take this out on tour?
Oh yes, and you're supposed to do everything with the gizmos.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
I'm just really trying to pretend.
Well, again, I come back to this, but there's a kind of like dreamlike, cartoon-like almost, without being demeaning, but that kind of feel in a lot of your music.
Oh, thank you.
So,
I like the cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, they can get so violent, though,
Right.
with the little kids. But, I mean, it's better they exist than that they get, canceled or anything. But they're just always about boom.
There's some of that in the songwriting, though.
Oh,
in
there
the
is.
record.
That's true, too. Good point. Yeah, no, it's all in our... everything you encounter, it comes within you, and we contain multitudes. So, whenever they show something on TV and they're like, I don't think they could ever have done that, I think, well, anyone can do that.
Yeah.
It's within us all.
So we're talking with Nellie McKay again. Hey guys, watch this, the new record. You do a lot of theater,
Yeah.
a lot of acting, cinema and theater,
Yeah.
and music, and you write. And I was wondering, like, if you could only do one, like, what are you really? What's the thing that catches you the most?
Oh, I mean, I guess I would have a sanctuary, and I would just have enough means to just have that without, to take care of everybody and take on more. On the way down here, I passed a gas station at night, and it was raining, and there was a little cat outside, and she was just waiting, looking in. She was by the coolant, or the racks of coolant, and she was looking in the gas station, and I came over, and she was meowing, and I made little noises, and I went in and asked, and they kind of said, no, nobody can catch that cat, she's feral. I kind of contest that, because I've known so many cats that eventually they can come in and have a home. But they'd given her a little something. But I just hated having to leave her out there in the rain. But of course, I couldn't, stick around and kind of do a whole getting to know her thing and get her in a carrier and get her somewhere. I guess I would have a sanctuary, but that doesn't address the root problems,
Right.
of so many aspects of our culture or our government or the fact that animals they're bred, and they're bred generally for profit, and then so many wind up at sitting in a cage or getting put down, and when they'd love a loving home. So the problem with helping, it's like Fred Rogers said, look for the helpers, but there's a problem with that, because you're not getting the root of the problem that creates the helpers. So I always kind of find myself in a quagmire of what to do. I mean, you do what little you can, but so to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know, Roland.
I can buy that.
Yeah.
I should point out, if it isn't apparent by now, that very involved in activism and animal rights, among many other things. And it comes into your music too, doesn't it? It's all kind of inseparable.
Oh,
Seems
yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's and the systemic cruelty towards animals. I mean, say towards cats or other animals, that would be in animal laboratories would be the worst, and then there'd be factory farming. So really, if you want to help animals, it would be to address those two things rather than just the personal and the individual. But it can get awfully cold trying to battle a system that it's fairly entrenched. Because when I said, you feel better when you come down to North Carolina, you're away from the media, you're away from the major profit centers. And I know you guys have a lot of stuff down here, and but probably the wealth in this country is more concentrated on the coast. It's in a few centers, and it's obscene, and it affects everyone in those places. They behave more like robots or zombies. They've just been indoctrinated. And here you're a little further away from it, and you can think for yourself better, I think.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, I certainly love where I live in the mountains, and it's a different vibe.
And it's so beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Well said.